Welcome back to No Gimmes Golf. It's Mike Buey checking in, and we got a little different of a setup here because, well, it's honestly cold outside. But today is a little bit of a different video, and by the thumbnail and the title, you can see that I'm kind of doing like a summer in review, like a golf season in review. I live in Chicago, so our golf season is coming to an end, or it's trying to. We're getting some nice days here and there. But anyways, man, I appreciate you for clicking on the video, and it really means a lot to me. I'll get into more gratitude in the video as I kind of wrap up my summer, because this is my first summer doing, this content creation when it comes to golf. Anything, really. So, big thanks to that. So welcome back if you've been here before. And welcome if this is the first time you're seeing me. I hope that you stick around, you see what my progress has been, and hopefully it inspires you to adopt some of the things that I've adopted, put a little more focus into the game, or even just spending time even thinking about it. So I hope I can deliver on at least something for you and you walk away with something. I got my laptop here because I've got some notes here and an agenda to keep me on track. I don't want this video to be too long, and I don't want the intro to be too long. So let's just get right into the video. As a channel like this is huge for me to be wrapping up like my first summer. I'm going to try to keep content coming during the off season, so to speak. So I've got a few videos that need to be edited, and I've changed my upload schedule from weekly to every 2 weeks. This video is coming in on an off week. I'll be traveling to Arizona, and I'm thinking about doing like a series, like break 80, at least break 85, but maybe break 80 just to really push myself to see, can I break 80 on some like pure golf courses? Hopefully the overseeding will be complete by the time I get there for Thanksgiving. So I'm really looking forward to that. When it comes to just the channel in general, okay, like this has been a great start to the channel. I've gotten so many comments, man. Like, you go into something and you think like, man, I want to do this and I want to inspire people to play, and sometimes it just sounds good, right? But you never know if something you do lands. But the comments that I've gotten where people have literally told me, man, you inspired me to pick a club up, or as simple as, which is still meaningful, but I like your content, you've earned a subscriber. Like that's big to me, because I got into this not caring like if anybody else approved. I know I love YouTube golf. I watch it in some form every single day, like I'm sure many of you do if you found this. Like, I know that the audience is there because I'm a part of it. So I wanted to put out my own product for people who may relate to me in different facets. I'm not a scratch golfer. You probably aren't, right? Like, I like to watch scratch golfers play, don't get me wrong, but I can learn from someone similar to my skill level, and someone who I see is getting better, someone who's willing to put themselves out there, things like that. So, I just appreciate all the love, all the comments that I've gotten, and just the support. I got a couple numbers here that I'll get into while we're here. I've got 248 subscribers, which is like crazy to me. Small to some, but these are, people who are part of the community, right? And that's huge for me, man. So, like, huge gratitude, man. I appreciate you. I really do. And I hope you stick around, and let's take that number up. 44 videos, which is crazy. I've put 44 of anything out. 17 long form videos, 27 short form videos. Golf is a niche, but we've seen with lots of success for others that there's a community out there, and I'm glad to be a part of that. I'm just real fortunate, so thank you. I appreciate you. And let's get into the topic of the video, right? How my handicap dropped, how I was able to go from like an 18 to a 12. You know, how did I do that? And, you know, I've just been reflecting ongoingly, and there's been about like just 4 key areas that I focused on in order to get better, because I knew I wanted to get better for myself, to compete, and for the channel. All right, so I had some driving forces for me personally to make me get better. And those 4 areas are new clubs, practicing a lot, playing a lot, and tracking stats. So let's jump right into it. Let's just get into these 4 areas. New clubs. If you haven't seen that video, I uploaded a video about my clubs that I got this summer. They're called Sub 70. I got, you know, these new irons. I love them. They completely changed my game. This was arguably the single most important piece of my game changing. So check that video out if you haven't. I feel like I did a pretty okay job on giving a story about how I got to those clubs, how I found them, and, you know, in short, I just had to find clubs for my game. Beforehand, and I think this is the case for a lot of people who are gifted clubs, you're playing clubs that are not at your skill level, and that's going to produce a wall for you unless you're just super talented and like your first set are some blades and you just got your timing down and you can learn the game blades, right? Like that's a percentage. I'm sure I wasn't in that percentage. And I used to tell myself, and I think a lot of amateurs do this, say you're shooting 95 to like 105, right? Well, really around 100. And you say to yourself, man, and this is what I said personally, man, once I break 90, then I'll get some clubs for my game. Like then I'll just like treat myself, because then I know that I've got the skill. The flaw that I found with that is I'm hurting my progress gaming clubs that aren't even for my game. And sometimes you need the right equipment to break through. And that was the case with me. Had some Ping S56s that were given to me. Player's irons, not a player. Doesn't match. So I had to, you know, stop being cheap. I had to say and look at myself and say, are you trying to get better? If so, you need to take the necessary steps. So I found some clubs that are sub 70, 699 pros. So that was huge for me, getting fitted, getting clubs that are for you, not for this other person who gave them to you. Your equipment is extremely important for your improvement. So that's the first thing that I did. Second thing, practice. The range is not like the sexiest thing when it comes to golf. Like people want to get on the course, like you want some satisfaction. You want to get the ball down the course. You want to walk, you want to listen to music, you want to ride, you want to get the ball in the hole. So there's some achievement there, right? The range is repetition. Like when you want to play basketball, you want to do pickup basketball. You're not trying to do a layup line and free throws. You want to play the 21, you want to play the 15, you want to shoot and for it to count. Golf, and I won't get on the soapbox, but golf, in my opinion, is like the hardest, or to be fair, the second hardest sport, just in case there's something extremely, extremely hard, because it probably is, right? But golf is a mental game. It is physical, but it is so hard to master, and it's a lifelong game. You can't master something without practice. So that's why I made it a point. I really started this last summer, but this summer, you know, I thought about it and I made some decisions like during the week after work where it's nice out. Yeah, I could go play 9, right? But when am I going to get an opportunity to hit my 7-iron 20 times in a row? You won't do that on the course. You will not, ever. You just won't, you know? And there are some rounds of golf where you will not hit certain clubs. And because of that, you're at a disadvantage when you get a club in your hand and you're guessing how you're going to hit it. You're guessing the appropriate tempo. Practice is extremely important, especially for mid to high handicappers. I mean, everyone. I mean, pros, they spend lots of time practicing. It's their job, of course. But, hitting the range is extremely essential, and that really helped my game. If you thought about it, just get to the range, just put that time in and that focus, because that's where you can see something goes wrong, make a minor adjustment. I mean, what I've got right here is, what is this? Foot spray. You can spray this on your club when you're at the range. It'll put like a film over the club. When you hit, it's going to show where the ball impacted the club. So you'll be able to see, are you hitting it as flush as you thought you did? It's things like that you're not doing when you're on the course. So, practice is essential, and that's really helped my game tremendously. I'll give a shout out to my wife, Lindsay. Got me this nice little mug for Sweetest Day. And it's got a little tunnel under there. And they gave you a little golf ball and a club where you can hit under through there. And the club is actually an ink pen. So, super thoughtful. I appreciate you for that, B. She'll get on the channel next year. We'll try to get her out there. She plays with me sometimes, or will play. Like you saw in my most recent video where I played on Labor Day, I was with her and her parents. So we try to do that twice a year. But anyways, those are the first two components that I feel helped me get my handicap down. Third, I played a lot. When I wasn't at the range, I was fortunate enough that we had probably the most perfect summer in my recent memory here in Chicago. I got to play once or twice a week. Some weeks I played 3 times. But when we think about averages, I was playing about 2 times a week. And that's crazy, I'm very fortunate. I'm super fortunate to be able to play. But even just the repetition and just the comfort and game time scenarios and trying things out that I practice at the range, super useful. I've got to play a range of courses, from just local munis to private to just more expensive courses. But it's playing a lot. You can't get better if you don't put the time in. I spent a lot of hours on the course. That helps from a YouTube channel perspective. So, I'm glad I was able to do that. And lastly, tracking stats. My job, I work on the finance side in a hospital. So I like statistics, to support what I'm thinking about and to show improvement. So why wouldn't I apply that to my golf game? And why wouldn't I use something to inform how I practice, how I play? And that's what I was able to do with the Grint app. That's what I use to track my scores. That's where I get my official handicap. Super useful. It's got the GPS. I love that app so much. It's free. You can even get a free handicap through the app. So I encourage anybody to use the Grint. I love it. So I've got a couple things here, and I'll actually put them right here of what I'm looking at. But this is able to show and confirm the things that I thought, hey, I've been doing well in this area, or I haven't been. And it's super, super useful. So what we got is my general summary, right? This is on my home page when I go into the app. So my handicap, 12.8. My goal for this summer was to get out of the teens. That was my goal, and I did it. And that video where I did it is coming up when I played Glen Woody, which was my first 18-hole vlog. And I love that course, and that's a course that I never was able to break 90 at until the video that's coming up. So, I hope you all enjoy that. Stay tuned for that when that comes out. But my average scoring, this is what's been extremely great for me, 87.6. I remember times where I looked at this app and my average scoring was like 95, 97, then 91, then 89. So this is an all-time low scoring average for me, which is beautiful. I love it. Green and reg, this is an area of focus for me because I scramble very well. Like I scramble very well. You know, when I'm attacking the green, it's probably my miss is a pool. So I could be green side, but I'm off the green. So then now I'm chipping up, and you probably noticed that if you paid attention to my video, I got a chip onto the green, and now I've got to get up and down, right? So that's my green and regulation. So when we think about the breakdown of that scoring average, right? 87.6. You know, this is able to, and I won't belabor it. I can see my breakdown on my front nine and back nine. Some people think that they're better on the front. Some people think that they're better on the back. This actually will show you like which one is true. And, you know, I used to think that I was a better front nine player, then I turned to a back nine player, but I'm pretty, like, I guess fairly consistent. But what I really like is, you know, the scoring average by hole. I've been paying attention to this for years because my scoring average for par threes used to be like 4.4. My scoring average for par fours used to be like 5.5. And my scoring average for par fives, it used to be as high as like a 7.5. It was ridiculous. Like par fives used to be my issue, but that's because I had irons that I couldn't hit. It's my own doing. And then by hole distances, you see my scoring averages go up, which it would be like that for most people, the higher you go. So somewhere down there. So when you look at my par fours distances, my scoring average goes way up when we get to like the 450 range. Those long country club par fours, you know, those provide a struggle for me, you know, averaging over a bogey. So this is just super useful information. Putting is my favorite part of the game. I can read greens. I caddied for almost 10 years. So I love putting, and I feel I have good pace around the greens. I like to dive my putts. So 33 putts as an average, like it's a crime that my scoring average is 87.6. That means that I'm messing up in a lot of other areas, because an average putting of 33, that's less than 2 putts a hole, which is beautiful, don't get me wrong. But I need to fix some stuff on the other side, and that's in me fixing my iron play and driver play has been instrumental to dropping my handicap a whole lot. And we see, you know, this is a nice little pie chart to show my 3-putt averages, you know, like 1.8 per round. So I really got to get that down. I want that under 1 to ultimately get to 0 3-putts as an average. And lastly, I talked about green regulation, so I'll just have that there. Like my green regulation is not good. I don't even want to, you know, like go on and on about that because I mentioned it already. But, you know, I've got to get better with my accuracy and getting on a regulation, because that's going to lead to lower scores and eliminating this need to get up and down trying to save par, or putting myself in a bad situation having to save bogey getting up and down because of a bad pool. This is just showing what's from the website. So what I've been showing you is from the app itself, but there's a website for the Grint, and I just wanted to look at, you know, my trend on, you know, my handicap over the summer. And, you know, right around the beginning of June is when I got my sub 70 clubs, and that just helped me take off. And I really blew my opportunities. I think I could have got down to like a 10 this summer, but, you know, I would just make a couple dumb mistakes. I mean, I think every golfer, when they think about a round, they could have been at least 5 strokes better. I'll stand on that. This has been, you know, super useful for me. Like I said, getting down to 12.8 is a dream. So next year I'm going for single digits. So, all in all, man, I'm very fortunate for the summer I had. I appreciate you for sticking around this long. I just want to share kind of a recap on, what I've been trying to focus on this summer and what I want to continue to build on for next year. Because I want this channel to get better continuously. And what I would like, and it's tough when you're playing against someone because that requires a lot of time and waiting for shots. But I would like to play against people, kind of in a match format, just to bring some competition. Because I love competing. I love competing. I love beating people. I just do. So I want to bring, that aspect to the channel too. And I also want to venture out and play some different courses, that I didn't play this summer. And I just want to continue to test myself. But that's all we're trying to do is get better at the game. So I appreciate you watching, man. I appreciate you sticking around to the end. I appreciate all the love, man. My first summer. I'm going to be putting some more videos out. I've got 3 already in my hard drive. Going to Scottsdale for Thanksgiving. That's going to be cool. I'm going to be playing 3 times. And I'm going to be doing I don't know if it's going to be break 80 or break 85. The 80 will really push me to lock in. So maybe I'll do that. But at worst, it's going to be break 85, right? Because even breaking 85 is super tough to do consistently. My average score is 87.6. So appreciate you, man. Appreciate all the love. Till next time, man. Thank you.